One. Welcome, everybody. The Easter Bunny's not real. You haven't had enough chocolate, and you should all give up on your dreams. This is the last episode of Neomagnetic.
Brutal. Oh my god.
Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to Neomagnetic. This is N Miss Roleplaying Games, and I'm here with some of the greatest role-playing players in the universe. Thank you for joining me, guys. What's going on?
Hello,
Hey,
Sven.
role-playing
Welcome
players.
to the stream.
Role-playing players, because I didn't have any kind of intro written down or lined up whatsoever. I've been scrambling, as I usually do, to try and get everything up and running in time. And I feel like I've done an all right job.
You're doing great.
We are missing something, though. I can't quite put my finger on what it is.
Gemma?
Oh, yes. You might have noticed, unfortunately, Gemma won't be able to join us tonight. She's not feeling particularly well, and that's okay. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know what they say, no D&D is better than bad D&D. Have you guys heard that saying before?
No.
No? You haven't heard that?
No.
Oh, I saw it floating around every now and
Wait,
then.
hang on. No D&D is better than bad D&D.
Than bad D&D.
Oh.
You ever gone to a session where you just you felt like shit? You knew you felt like shit, but you went anyway, and you sat there and you're sweating and you're
your friends brightened at your time, and your whole day turned around, and thank God for friends and D&D.
no. I always say
I'm right there with you.
and this goes to everyone to everyone out there. If you're not feeling it, don't feel obliged to join it. Let's just say hypothetically, you got pneumonia or something like that, some serious medical condition, and you didn't feel like playing. Don't feel bad. You don't have to be here. There's no obligation. Get better. Come back when you're feeling good, and let's roll some dice together. Speaking of pneumonia, how you doing, Mod?
Yeah, good. Hang on a sec.
That was a nice segue.
Yeah, doing very well. Broke out of hospital. There's my tag. So life's good. Very excited to play. I can't breathe, but I can roll dice. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, I feel like you can take away someone's life essence. You could be on your deathbed, but you can still, as long as you still got a little bit of wrist movement, you can still roll dice, and life is still.
Can you keep doing that wrist movement just for a little gif I want to make?
Just a little bit of wrist
action.
action.
Back.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now just turn your head the other way for a little while.
Yeah, try and stare in the camera with those big old doggy eyes. It's good to be back. Since we were last here, Valiant and I were outside the door, and then I went to Denmark, and valiantly went on to win the Australian National Gridiron Championship.
At QB.
At QB. Which
Quarterback.
is horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. Beating back the women.
I can roll dice and throw ball.
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, it's not often that someone is a successful D&D podcaster and also successful at anything physical whatsoever. So that in itself is an achievement. I don't know if you noticed, but
Breaking on those stereotypes.
the tabletop role-playing game community. Let's just say if they had their own character sheet, athletics probably wouldn't be what they're proficient at, generally speaking. Amazing bunch of people, great charisma score, but you've got both. So congratulations on that, and congratulations on the birth of your spawn as well.
Oh, I appreciate all of that, man. Many accolades to be had over in the Valiant side of the corner of the realm. I'm just happy to be here as well, playing games, rolling dice, doing some simple, fun games with some awesome, amazing people. That's just how I like to be. So, being a quarterback's kind of just pretending to be the good one on the field when really you're just handing the ball off to other people to do something really good at it. So that's kind of what you do in D&D anyway. You pretend to be someone awesome.
It's kind of what you do in fatherhood too.
You pretend to be someone awesome until your kids grow up and figure out exactly who you are.
Yeah.
It all sounds very modest.
It all starts to fall apart.
man, you're a superstar.
How many minutes of sleep have you had in the past week?
Oh, I could count it on one hand.
Please do.
But you know what? I just look down and see my 2 championship rings, and all is well.
There you go.
Right, 2 championship rings, 2 children, mate, 1 for each.
Yeah, well, actually, I've got 3, but one's in the mail. So
All right, no one likes a show off.
that's my humble brag.
Speaking of show offs, Froth, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. I don't know what I'm showing off, but hey, here I am showing
Sick.
off.
Fish tank.
Mini at random. Have a mini.
Yeah, show this off. He's a talented man. Twitch.
No, not the maxi. Don't get the maxi. We don't want to see that. I can't be on Twitch.
The Maxi.
Just
Get
a
the
mini.
Trojans. The Trojans.
Yeah, he's one I've been working on. I don't know how well it'll show up.
See?
Oh, shit.
Fantastically. It looks like there's a tiny little person. It looks like you killed...
Yeah.
Like a King Neptune type thing.
Looks like you killed Zeus and put his tiny little body on a stick.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That works for me.
Is that for
Yeah,
a
that's
bust
awesome.
competition?
Hey? It's
Is
a
that for a
bust, yes.
bust competition?
No, it's for a general painting competition, but it is a bust.
Did you paint anything at all before you picked up minis?
Nah,
Or you just
not a thing. I was terrible. Like,
you're a bloody
never,
natural, mate.
You just
Never artistic my whole life, and then just started playing around with minis, and bang.
just painted the town red. That's all you did, right?
Have you ever looked at your minis and you just go, well, fuck me, I'm bloody good at this.
Every day.
How good shit turns out.
I do that every day.
Sometimes I have a look at it and I go, yeah, that looks all right. But then I'll look at it in sort of like 6 months to a year's time, and I'll go, oh, that's shit. You know? in a not
When you
real
progress and you look
self-commitment
back at
Yeah.
your old work, yeah, I get
Yeah.
it.
But then you can look forward to other people's work and a goal, and then you go, wow, I've still got so far to go. You know, you go to this sort of like 95% point, and you can get there within a certain time span. But then that other 5%, which is what really makes the difference between spectacular and amazing, takes 10 times longer than what that 95% did to acquire the skill and knowledge for.
It's like leveling in D&D.
It
Extremely accurate.
Yep.
Yeah, but by that time my hyper focus is worn off, so
Yeah,
I'm good
totally.
at lots of other things and an expert at nothing.
Well, I was
That's why I
actually
have
going to say,
multiple
Valiant,
hobbies.
do you find that now you've been doing like 3 seasons, 4 seasons, technically 5 maybe, of D&D stuff, do you find less editing because your guys are more polished? So it's sort of like,
Yeah.
I was listening to some of them and I was like, I feel there's less editing in this one. It just feels very fluid.
Yeah, definitely. I think those you can really tell in a podcast when you do a hard cut, or at least I can anyway. And sometimes the way
Jesuit crew has started getting the Crown Killers. They've gone from like 1 million cuts to 6 solid cuts.
Yeah, well, the reason I had to do so many solid cuts with them on the podcast is because they are very vulgar and foul gentlemen, and I really wanted to keep it as a something that other people could listen to, not just.
It's a show for children. That's what you're trying to say. We should let our children listen to it.
Nah, you probably shouldn't.
You heard
know,
it.
if
You
you're
heard
a
it
cool
here
parent,
first.
You will.
Heard it here first. On your child's 5th birthday, you should introduce them to the Valiant Odyssey. Get them young before they can really start to think for themselves. Speaking of thinking for ourselves, we like to start every episode with a little bit of a banter topic. Now, in order to bring Jem into it in spirit, at least, I allowed Jem to choose our banter topic for tonight. Yeah. So tonight's banter topic, courtesy of Violet Taylor, Aussie's #1 rap star, is: what is your least favorite Avenger? Because I want this to be controversial. I want you tearing each other's eyes out virtually before we start this episode good and proper. So let's go across the board.
Marvel?
Yeah, Marvel fucking person. You know that.
All Marvel has been an Avenger at one point.
Yeah, so I feel like I read these books to Torben, and it's like Spider-Man and Ant-Man and like, and every single one, they all say that they were an Avenger at some point. So it's not exactly an exclusive club. Yes, Froth, I'll allow it.
Went on a date with my wife, which had been ages since.
First of all, let me interrupt. Just still dating whilst married.
Well done.
Well done. Well done.
Thanks.
Well,
man.
he's an
That's
RPG
amazing.
playing player.
And your
Yeah.
wife is an Avenger, and she's your least favorite?
Well, that took a turn.
My God.
Yeah,
It did take a
I don't like where this is going, Froth. You need to speak better of your wife.
I said, you pick the movie because I'm taking you on a date and you can choose. And she chose Madam Web. And
Oh,
I've got to say, that was probably one of the absolute worst Marvel movies I've ever seen. As far as character and things like that, yeah, it was awful. Yeah,
I haven't
it was
heard
nice
good
to go out with
things.
her on a date.
Well, yeah.
I haven't heard good things, and it's a shame too. I don't really know that much, but I feel like there's potential there for a good story. But anything that Sony touches these days is just a train wreck. There's the same thing with that idiot vampire movie. What's that guy called?
Morbius.
Yeah, Morbius. Jared Leto, the vampire. I haven't watched it. I know it's awful, so I'm not going to.
He's been in some trash, hey.
Really.
I feel like he's a good actor, but he's just been in some trash.
Yeah, and there's actors out there that are like that, isn't there? Like good actors that just always end up in absolute dumpster fire movies, like they're being sabotaged, or they just sign the first thing that pops up on their desk, and it's a real shame.
Win them all.
Speaking of things, no, I'm not going to be that mean. Aaron, tell us, what is your least favorite Avenger?
Oh, my least favorite Avenger. Probably Iron Man.
Iron Man? Okay. Yeah, see? That's that kind of controversy I'd like to dig out of people's minds right off the bat.
Yeah. You know, growing up as a young man, you really love Iron Man, but then when you're older, you just want to be Captain America.
No, but why do you hate him?
I feel like Iron Man in the comic books was represented as nothing like Iron Man in the cinematic universe. But that's not my problem with it. Basically, I don't know. I feel like he is overly arrogant in the role, and to the point where it's at the detriment of all other characters' development. So, and also like he doesn't have any powers, and all his shit could be stolen. Literally anybody could be Iron Man. And yeah, he's a genius and he builds all this stuff. But if you put somebody else in that suit, they could also be Iron Man. And they did that with that chick from, what was the movie? Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
They put another person in the Iron Man suit, and she did pretty much anything that Iron Man would have done in that movie. And I'm just waiting for them to bring RDJ back as some bloody cash grab because everybody loves him, and he did good, but I think I don't like him because everybody loves him.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it feels like one of those ones, yeah. That's fair enough, that's valid.
I'm man enough to admit it.
Yeah, that's valid.
I just don't know why everybody likes him, right? And he sucks.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to defend Tony Stark. I'm just going to say, like, dude's got a sense of humor. My least favorite Marvel character, Vision.
Oh,
because
yuck.
when Vision was Paul Bettany in a little robe, like in the Jarvis,
Yeah.
inside Tony Stark shit, he was hilarious, he was funny, quick-witted, always making jokes, very helpful. All of a sudden he becomes Vision, he becomes this massively boring wanker.
What a nerd.
What a nerd. And not even nerd like Captain American nerd, just like full-on nerd.
Some British nerd. And then, right at the end of WandaVision, he splits himself in half or some crap, and then this white Vision takes off, and then you never see him again. What a plot hole.
It's
Where the
dumb.
fuck did that guy go?
Come on. Bring Paul Bettany back from Knight's Tale, put him in Marvel, he'll be funny as fuck.
Yeah, bring him back,
Oh,
take his clothes off, let him strut around naked, and you've got a whole movie in that.
That was a sleeper flick, hey.
That was really good.
That was a sleeper flick in Knight's Tale.
Massively underrated. And little known fact, also canonically part of the MCU. Did you know it? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I did not know
No,
that.
that's because I just made it up.
Oh, you got us with another April Fool's joke.
It's because
One
I
of my
made it
favorite
up.
parts of the movie is when the trumpets come up and they go, do this, and it plays like electric guitar music.
Yeah, you know what's the good part about that movie, though? I think it was at least the first time I'd seen a modern soundtrack to a dated time period. And they have I've never seen that done badly. Like that, they did it in A Knight's Tale, where there's modern music in a older setting, and then they did the flip of it in Guardians of the Galaxy, where they have a modern setting with older music.
Yep.
And it worked both times.
100%. It works every time.
It shouldn't work. It shouldn't work,
But it does.
but it really does. I guess it's like that theory of contrast, where when you have that contrast, it makes it pop. And like if you have someone who, like, you know, if you've got a banging soundtrack, I mean, you can make some real trash movies good. Let's put it that way.
Or at least bearable.
Well, it's
You
bearable.
wait for the next song to drop.
So I feel like I should invest in a better soundtrack for Neomagnetic. What do we got here?
We need Stairway to Heaven by Eric Clapton.
All right. Who has Eric Clapton on speed dial? Anyone?
I don't, unfortunately.
Stairway to Heaven. Led Zeppelin.
Right. Well, Eric Clapton.
Oh, it was Led Zeppelin. You're right.
Well, Led Zeppelin. I don't know the difference. Could be the same thing, as far as I know.
It is definitely not.
I
I was very wrong.
Led Zeppelin, Eric Clapton. I don't care. The Monkees. Whoever it was. If you could just get in touch, that'd be great.
We got Violet. We don't need any of those people. They can fuck off.
What do you like besides Madden Web? What's the shittest Marvel movie besides Madden Web? Let's go Marvel and not Sony.
Yeah. Let's stick to the MCU. What's the worst MCU movie? Froth, speak to me. Talk to me. Let me know what to avoid.
That's a tough one. Because there's a few of them I haven't seen.
There's quite a lot of shit out there.
Yeah,
it's
there
tough.
is.
I have to wade through the crap.
Like Wakanda Forever, I haven't seen that. Cause
It's not the shittest in my opinion.
Yeah, okay.
Because I just liked watching Namor in that one.
I don't know.
Bard.
Is Black Adam in that category?
You just like these
Is
little.
that
Full Marvel, or was that a Sony?
DC.
Oh, that's DC. Okay, that's the other side.
That's
a
awful.
whole nother argument altogether.
That was awful.
That's next week.
Then I'd probably it's next week. I'm thinking probably Ant-Man. I really like Ant-Man, but I think it compared to the other ones is not quite.
I like
up
the first one. The first one was like
Yeah.
First one was
quirky.
amazing.
The second one, dog shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The second one was not as good.
Listen, I'm gonna say the Eternals.
I like that too.
Forgettable.
I liked it because it was different.
I hated it, but I'm gonna also say just Thor, the newest Thor, the Love and Thunder one.
Oh, that was pretty weak. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the bad guy in it. I'm just gonna look it up quickly. The bad guy in it is like
Christian
one of my
Bale.
favorite. Christian Bale. He plays an
the
amazing
Butcher.
bad guy. He's so shit in that movie.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was something that could have been amazing and they didn't hit the mark, and it was just. I think that one is my least favorite because of how disappointed I was.
I think Russell Crowe went alright in it.
Yeah, he was a bit funny.
Yeah,
He was good.
that's what I mean. Like, there was a few good bits, but there was just some bits that could have been better.
Well,
For me, I think it is the second Doctor Strange.
oh yeah.
Multiverse of Madness.
no.
Yeah.
No, that's a pretty bad one.
Yeah. That's when they started to get really rough around about then, wasn't it? Like, and it was the multiverse of madness, and their whole multiverse of madness was basically condensed into a 30-second scene, and
Montage.
then the multiverse was basically just a color palette swapped version.
Yeah, kaleidoscope. It was like a kaleidoscope
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, it was just like it's Earth but slightly different. And I'm like, wow, you got multi-million-dollar budget.
This is mad.
The only thing that was better than the first one was the fact there was more of Wong.
Yeah, Wong.
Oh, he's great.
Wong's good.
Amazing.
Benedict Wong. We're currently watching Three Body Problem. I don't know too much about the show. I think I've watched 2 episodes at the moment. Gemma's a little bit ahead of me, but I just watch it for Benedict Wong. How great is he? It's pretty great.
good.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
pretty
a fan.
great.
I can still hear you, just so you guys know.
Okay. All righty then. Speaking of things that are great and things that are not April Fool's Day jokes, I think now is a good time to announce to the world and the millions of people watching this at home right now. Yes, that's right. We are bringing back Beware the Witching Hour this weekend.
What?
Yeah, that's right. I bet you.
Grace is back.
Well, we're back. Grace is back in the DM seat. We have a whole new cast. It is essentially a soft reboot / continuation of the previous story, and that is going live with a session 0 this Saturday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, right here on our little multiverse of mad corner of the universe. Yes, we can.
Is this an exclusive? Is this a drop?
I try not to reveal myself live on air, but every now and then it has to be done. Mod, would you like to reveal the cast? I'm gonna give the honors to you.
I don't know. Please don't leave me in suspense. I believe if I had to take a guess at the cast, we'd be looking at one Sven from Crit and Miss coming in as a. Are we allowed to say parts? No, probably not.
No, just the cast.
Okay, so Sven, Liquor Witch, Grace, myself, and Gemma. I'm guessing. Hang on, I'm trying to open stuff up.
You should probably know who's in that. Yes, no, you got it right. That's right. Where the Witching Hours returning.
Yeah, Jim.
I'm gonna be playing in that one because I don't want to do any work. So I'm letting someone else take over the DM role. So Grace is going to be DMing. I'm going to be playing. Mod's going to be joining me, as well as Gemma. And of course, Liquor Witch from Twitch. So if you haven't already,
who's already doing amazing artwork.
She has already knocked it out of the park. We got 4 brand new characters. She's done her artwork for her own character, and she might be doing some artwork for the rest of the characters as well. So keep your eyes on that. I'm looking forward to jumping back in and playing. It's been far too long. Speaking of things that have been far too long in between, should we play some Cyberpunk Red?
Let's play a game together. Let's play a game together.
Shall we play a
Would
game?
you like to play a game?
All right. Well, I feel like I need to put on a boppy recap song as I briefly recap what happened in the previous 2 episodes, because it's been a while. Oh, there we go. That's a recap song if I've ever heard one. So, this story is centered in this fictional city called Night City, in this cyberpunk setting. And our story began in a small park somewhere close to the city center, where 4 edge runners come together with a singular purpose. Brought here by a mysterious text message from someone who identified themselves only as, is it Stykes? I guess you guys really haven't quite come to terms with what the name actually is, but this message was simple. Meet in this park. I'll give you further details with the promise of paid work and more paid work in the future should you successfully pull off this operation, this mission. And you were tasked with heading over to one of these mega structures, these giant towering structures that have been popping up in Night City ever since the attack on Arasaka Tower, where the citizens of Night City have been, sort of squashed together in these sort of tight living spaces, these massive monolithic concrete structures. Now, apparently some gang members had moved into an abandoned health center in the newly constructed Megablock H10, and this individual, Stykes, had tasked you with heading over there and evicting them. whatever means necessary, as long as you kept the what's the right word here? What's the word that I'm looking for?
Collateral. Wasn't
The
it?
collateral. That's right. Yeah, as long as you kept the collateral damage to a minimum. Now, the four of you head over there. You find out that that these gang members had set up shop on the 28th level. You make friends with one of the locals. You head up there. And you come across a couple of these supposed gang members, and you begin a short scene of tense negotiations. Now, one of them asks our resident media, a man played by mods, known as Foggy Storms, aka Deathwish, to put away his camera. I mean, these are gang members. They don't like being on camera. So he threatens you, put the camera away or shit's gonna get dirty. So what does he do? Well, he pulls a handgun out of a hidden compartment in his camera and fires a shot. And that's where we ended the first episode. Now, episode 2, unfortunately, a couple of the players weren't available, so we went through with Froth and Gemma, so Redline and Violet's, that's right, Violet Taylor, as they confronted the gang members in the abandoned medical center. I want to go back in time a little bit, and I want you to picture this scene. It's sort of just blackness. And I'm gonna go ahead and change the music here a little bit. It's just dark. We can hear the sounds of like is that like welding? Somewhere from far above, we can hear the faint echo of voices echoing down through this foyer from somewhere far above. We can see a security guard as he's leaning against a concrete railing, sort of absent-mindedly scrolling through his agent, when all of a sudden we hear this violent crack of gunfire echoing down the foyer from somewhere far above. We cut away from that scene and we cut back to where we left off with Redline and no, not Redline, sorry. Colby and Foggy Storms back in the foyer, in the foyer of level 28 on Megablock H10. We're going to pick the story up back there. We're going to find out exactly what happened to you guys. Now, when we left off, Deathwish, you had just fired off a shot, and this combat had just begun. So I'm just going to bring up my notes here real quick, and we're gonna jump straight back into that combat. So how's about we take it to the map?
Take it to the max.
Here it is for everybody at home.
All right, there you go. Now, I went back and had a quick look to make sure that the positioning was correct on that. So if you want to have a look at that, make sure that that's actually where you were when we finished that episode.
That is.
Look about right?
Correct, yeah.
All right, fantastic. Now let's have a look, make sure everything's good. All right, so Deathwish, you had just fired a shot, which had hit one of these gang members and done, I think it was 12 points of damage.
16.
Yes, so it was 16 points of damage overall. But what I did fail to mention was that one of these characters. No, not one of them. Both of them actually are wearing leather armor. Now, I allowed you to take that shot to begin this combat. Now, normally speaking, once someone takes a hostile action, I'll get you to roll initiative. But I'm going to allow that one to still go through. And that's how we're going to start this combat. Now, I think your weapon has a rate of fire of 2.
It does.
All right. So when it comes to your turn, you've still got one shot left. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So let's get straight into it, shall we? So starting off the combat is going to be Anderson Colby. What do you do?
So watching my newfound friend Foggy shoot one of these individuals in the face, I immediately draw my pistol, cop style, and I'm holding it in the way that I was trained to do, so it looks very rudimental. And as I'm sort of looking down the sights, I look towards Foggy and I just say to him, I hope you know what you're doing. I'm looking for a response to engage, basically.
Kill the motherfuckers! Yes!
I just fire.
Alright, so who are we firing at? So are we firing at the one to the south or to the north?
I'll be firing at the gentleman that recently ate a bullet from Foggy.
Alright, that would be the gentleman closer to him.
Yes, so yeah, I'll use my heavy pistol that I'll take out. And as I take it out, you can see me just sort of pull the bullet into the chamber, unload. It's got a fire rate of 2. So do I get 2 shots at this?
Yes, so you'll get to be able to take 2 shots, and I believe you are 6 meters away, 2, 4, 6, yes, so that'll be a DC or DV 13.
Okay. And what's the difference between an attack and an aim shot, just so I know?
I believe with an aim shot, you add +5 to the DV. I'd have to double check that. But basically with an aim shot, you get to aim at a body part, whether that be the head or hand or something like that. And there's different effects that you can cause by hitting that.
All right. I will aim for the hand to... Are they holding a weapon? To disarm. If not, I'll just go for the head.
Yes, so after Foggy takes that first shot, I believe that gentleman was pulling out a knife. So yes, he does have a weapon in his hand, and it is a -8 to the check for an aim shot. You can hit the head,
I'll do that.
held item, or leg.
I'll hit the held item, and as I do so, I'll say not so fast, and I'll just go for the shot.
All
I rolled
right.
a 9.
You rolled a 9. Unfortunately, that's not enough. So that is a miss on the first shot. Crack!
Can I roll again?
You see that bullet ricochet off the concrete from somewhere behind them, and that again, the sound of that gunfire echoes up and down the shaft of this building. Fire again.
It should be known also that I am recording, and I did roll a 30 for my cinematography skills on this fight.
Okay, all right.
I rolled an 11 that time.
An 11 on the second one, unfortunately, is not going to be enough. So that is 2 missed shots. I think you're going to need to roll a 21 total in order to hit that.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was a DV 13 plus 8. Mm-hmm. All right, so 2 missed shots, unfortunately.
All good. Am I able to move now?
Yes, you can move whenever you want to move.
All right, I'm gonna begin to run and slide towards the east. I'm gonna make my way towards the edge and hide behind that planter box there, and just sort of duck and just sort of like tap my weapon and whisper to it. It's like, "Come on, we're on camera." And then that'll be the end of my turn. I guess I'll crouch or hide or whatever the equivalent is in Cyberpunk Red.
All right, so you could take cover. Unfortunately, the way this works is if any part of your body is exposed, then they can take the shot. I'm going to say that this is like low cover. You would need to take your action to actually take cover behind an item. So you've moved over there, and it is one of these Piranha gang members' turn, and it's the gentleman that you just actually shot. He's drawn a knife, I believe it is. Did I say he had a knife? Yes, he does.
Yeah.
All right. So he's actually going to attack you with what is called a ripper.
It's not a knife at all.
It's not a knife. A ripper, a knife. I'm not sure exactly what a ripper is. I'm just assuming it's kind of like a knife.
What you use to take out cybernetics.
Is it?
Yeah, it's for like if somebody's got a cybernetic arm, it's what you'd use to rip their arm off, so you could take it.
Carbo glass claws, medium melee weapon, can be concealed, can be installed as piece of cyberware. I'm going to say that instead of that, he has a knife, because I think that's more flavorful.
Good.
So he draws forth a knife, and he is going to take 2 attacks at you. I'm going to have a quick look here about exactly how a melee attack works, because I haven't done this just yet, so bear with me while I check that out.
I'm actually looking for where my get a stats. No. Combat. Health, helmet, body.
Martial arts. Melee combat resolution. Attackers dex plus that versus defender's dex plus evasion skill. So I need you to roll an evasion check. Foggy?
That's a 29.
29 beats his 15. So his first attack,
That's a crit. Do I get anything special for bonusing crit?
I wish you did, but unfortunately, there's nothing here that says you get anything.
Man, you're in
with
control of this game. You can.
You're not wrong. I am in control in this game, so I'm going to say what you get with that crit is he misses and gets to attack again. Wow, you're welcome, Mod.
Thanks, man.
Fuck off.
So he's going to take another attack with his knife / ripper. And he is going to get another attack. Here we go. Alright, I get you to roll that evasion for me again.
Yep, 17.
So that is a hit on the second attack. Alright, 2d6 points of damage. Alright, I think I need to roll that myself. Yep, I do. Get a couple of dice out here. God, I think this is the first time I've done damage to anyone.
Congratulations, Mod.
Yeah,
You're the
thanks.
recipient of Sven's Wrath.
All right.
Pretty sure you got some damage off Violet Crumb.
Yeah, Violet got hit.
Oh, did I? All right. So you're taking not too much for 7 points of damage as he buries this knife into your clavicle with like a reverse-handed grip. Bang! Straight into your shoulder.
I got body and helmet. Do they do anything?
Okay, so he's hitting you in the body with this one. What is your stopping power for your body?
It'd be stats, wouldn't it? Combat. Fire.
Let's have a look here. Mr. Foggy Storms. Your stopping power for your body is 11.
11, yeah.
Oh my god. Alright, so that does no damage to you, and your stopping power is damaged by 1. As your armor is ablated.
Oh, so I don't lose all 7 or whatever?
No, you don't take any damage from that. Actually, if I check the... I check this here.
I'd assume if I take 7 damage in the body, I'd just remove 7 from body.
No, so the way this works is, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but if you don't take any damage, if your stopping power of your armor exceeds the damage taken, you don't take any damage at all, and your armor is not ablated. So you don't take any damage from that. What armor do you have again?
Light armor jack.
A light armor jack. All right. Okay. Well, you take no damage. So, well, there you go.
I feel like it had. We'll look into it, but that dude would never kill me if that's the case. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how this works. He would have to actually roll a crit in order to be able to do any damage against your light armor jack. But I believe that is correct. If it doesn't exceed your stopping power at all, then no damage is taken, and there is no damage done to your armor. If you want to check that out real quick, feel free to do so, but I'm pretty confident in that. And then we'll move on to the next person. Foggy Storms, it is your turn. You've taken 1 shot already. This guy's tried to stab you, but the knife glides harmlessly against your armor jack. What do you do?
All right. So I'm going to do a very heavy pistol shot. That's a 13.
13 on a very heavy pistol. That beats the DV by 1, I believe, or exactly a hit. So that's a hit. Roll some damage for us.
Awesome. That's 14 damage.
14 points of damage on this gentleman, which means the armor is ablated by 1 more. So 13 becomes 11. Where is his actual armor? There we go. So 11 points. Select damage. No. Oh god, that's very confusing. Where are we? Where's his health? Alright, so he takes... there it is. 11 points of damage. He is now critically injured.
Yay! Is he alright?
Alright, so we're going to have a quick look at the critical injury table here. Sorry, this is my learning experience as well. I need to roll 2d6 to find out what injury he has. A foreign object. So I'm going to say that when you shoot him, that bullet does not exit out the back of his body. That bullet gets lodged inside of his body. At the end of every turn, he suffers this critical injuries bonus damage directly to his hit points if he moves too far. So I'm going to say he's very, very critically injured at this point. Almost at death's door. What do you do?
Try and shove him over the edge with a kick if I have. Can I do something like that?
Well, you would have to use the grab ability. You've already taken 2 shots, so I don't think you have the ability to do that at this point.
No, that's right. You said, what do you do? So I was improvising.
Okay.
So I guess I'll shoot him, and then you get... What are the actions you get, sorry?
So basically, you've only got an action and a move action during your turn. So you've taken your action, so basically you can move. And I don't believe there's any attacks of opportunity in this either, so you can move freely.
Awesome. Alright, so I'm going to say... bug out. No, I just say pincer maneuver. I'm just gonna run this way and act like I'm running out this way, but I'm just gonna stay there.
Pincer maneuver? What the fuck is a pincer?
Pincer.
So
I see him like doing this with his hands.
he wants to dock. Now's not the time, Foggy. You can see 2 huge entry wounds from the 2 shots that you just unloaded on this guy. There's blood pouring. He's leaning up against that concrete divider. You can see that the life is beginning to leave his eyes, which brings us to what, my other gang member's turn, I believe. Yes, it is. All right. So seeing her friend having taken that much damage from Foggy Storms, she puts a hand on his shoulder. She's like, hang in there. Takes a step to the north. Take 2 steps to the north in order to get a clear shot on Mr. Deathwish. And she is going to draw a pistol from...
What's she drawing it with?
Her hands.
Just a Dexter.
There it is. A very heavy pistol, I should say, which I believe has rate of fire of 1. So she's going to take 1 shot. She reaches into the to the faded leather jacket that she has and pulls forth what, for all intents and purposes, looks like a big revolver. She aims down the sights and is going to take a shot at you. From where she is, which is going to be a DV13, and she hits it with a 20. which means she actually rolled a critical hit. Now let me just check the rules for critical hits. Initiative, actions, rate of fire. I'd have to double check that. I don't think there's anything extra that you get with a critical hit. She's going to... Sorry? Yeah, if someone wants to have a quick look to see if there's any extra damage from a critical hit, I'll go ahead and roll that. It is 4d6 points of damage, so... Again, this loud deafening crack as the handgun fires, doing 13 points of damage to you, Foggy Storms. You have a stopping power of 11, so you take 2 points of damage.
I got the thing here.
Yeah, all right. What does it say?
It says if the attacker rolled 2 or more 6s on their damage dice, it's considered a critical. You suffer 5 damage directly to your HP in addition to a critical injury.
Okay, all right. So no critical injury on this one. It was just a critical hit on the 2 attack roll. But you are taking, what did I say? 13 points of damage minus your stopping power. So 2 points of damage and 1 point of ablation to your armor.
Ablation.
Excellent.
I'll reach across the room and be like, Foggy!
I've been shot.
And
I make sure to get a nice selfie angle.
And I'm in the back like this.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, I've got it so we're both in the shot. So I can...
Okay.
That goes on the fridge at home.
So finally did some actual damage in this game.
You said you want to impress people back home, so
that's a nice feeling.
It's gonna look good.
All right, and that brings us around to Anderson Colby. You are up.
All right. Seeing my friend being absolutely brutalized, I know that they didn't call me the Raging Bull in the Force for nothing. So I begin to run, and as I do, I get into hand-to-hand combat with the guy I was trying to shoot before, and I do that thing from Mission Impossible where Henry Cavill reloads his arms, and then I beat the fucking shit out of this guy.
All right, roll that brawling skill, I suppose.
Okay.
Reaction to get this all on camera.
Okay, so I don't know what this means, but it's got a 10 with a star next to it, and then a 9 for a total of 32.
10 with a star. Sorry, so 32 to hit?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say there's no chance that he's going to beat that with his evasion. No, he rolled an 8, so that's a hit. Let's have a look at the brawling skill here. I had it up.
As I do 9 damage.
So brawling. Brawling uses the brawling skill to attack and is 2 rate of fire, so you can attack twice. How much damage did you do?
I did 9 on the first hit.
All right. Tell me how you knock this guy out.
Okay. So with my first hit, I'll just move over. I'll check him and tackle him after reloading my hands. I'll check him and tackle him into the concrete divider. And as he's sort of dazed, I'll just come up with my head and just knock him straight in the head, and then just push him with both of my fists straight into the chest.
Do you want to knock him over the edge?
I would love to if that is okay to do. Otherwise, I'll just hit him at the exact moment his heart is beating in rhythm to stop it and explode his head.
So you charge towards this guy. You barrel into him with your full body weight, and you can hear the air explode from his lungs as you push him up against the concrete divider. And you get covered in this guy's blood as it squirts out from the 2 massive holes that he has in his chest. You bring your head up and you can feel that satisfying crunch as 2 of his teeth burst out from his jaw. You take a second, you see he's completely dazed, and you grab him by that leather jacket that he's wearing and just hoist him over the edge. And the last thing you hear is his wheezing for air as he plummets down 28 stories. And after a moment...
As he's going down, I'll look over the edge, blood dripping off me, and I'll just do a little wave with my 4th finger, just Toodaloo. I don't know if I have any more movement, but if I do, I'll move towards the lady. And I'll point to her and I'll be like, "You're next."
This is something that I meant to look into a little bit so I could figure out exactly how far people are meant to move. I've got still no idea what people's movement speed is. Is it on your character sheet anywhere how far you can move?
Let me see.
Do I have a movement speed? Is it?
It doesn't look like it. Let me have a check.
Yeah, this is something that's been it's been getting me every single time, and I still haven't been able to figure out how it actually works. To move a number of meter or yards equal to move times 2. So what is your move skill?
Move skill. That will be in skills, I'd imagine. Oh, I don't have a move skill.
All right. Let me have a look here. I'll bring up your character sheet. Where is it? That's combat. Let's have a look. Anderson, Colby.
It's in your stats up the top. There's categories, and then you get a score per category.
Oh,
move 5.
My move is 5. Yeah.
So you
10,
should.
I guess.
Yeah, you should. No, you should be able to move 5 squares according to that.
Times 2.
Oh, right. Times 2. You said?
He's distracted.
Sorry, what did you say?
Times 2.
5 squares times 2.
No, it's just 5 squares. It says here that you can move. Where is it? I've got 2 tabs open here. It's very confusing. Move a number of meter/yards equal to move times 2, or a number of squares if playing on a grid equal to move, which can include moving diagonally. So we're playing on a grid here. So yeah, 5 squares.
All right. I'll move. I've only got 1 more square of movement, so I'll just move where he was in a northward direction towards the next one.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and put him in the middle of the foyer over there. All right. One of these gang members is down, and that brings us to. Let's have a look here. He is dead, which means it's Foggy Storms. It's your turn. What do you do?
I very much want to shoot her. However, I do have an ability here called Face Down, and I'm trying to find out what it does because it looks cool.
All right. Generally speaking, what a face down is if it comes to negotiation. Sometimes you can do what's called a face down, and if you win the face down, your opponents will have a negative to their abilities. And it's tied to your reputation. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work here. The combat has already started.
No, that's all right. I was just trying to see if it meant like charge them down or something. I think I'm going to go with... what's your brawling based on? I'm just going to shoot.
Take a shot. All right, DV13 from where you are. Take a couple of shots with your... what do you got, a heavy pistol?
I've got a very heavily... you know what? I'm going to take out my heavy pistol. Give that a go.
All right, so you've got 2 guns.
Yep.
What was the first one you took a shot with?
Very heavy pistol.
Very heavy pistol. Now let me just have a quick look over here. With a very heavy pistol, only has a rate of fire of 1. So I believe you took an extra shot.
No.
Mine says it's got a rate of 2.
Oh, does it? I'm having a look at very heavy pistol.
No, it's
mine's
got a rate of 1, but I did
heavy pistol.
I did 1, remember, before the shot. And then 1 on my turn.
Yes, no, so that 1 shot was meant to act as your action for that turn. I was under the impression that we were using a gun that had a rate of fire as 2, because I don't want to get into the habit of allowing people to take shots before combat has actually started, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's okay. We'll let it go. Let's take a shot with your was it heavy?
Heavy pistol.
Take a couple of shots with your heavy pistol. Let's see how this goes.
I'll do 1 at the 24 to hit.
21.
Yeah, 24 is going to hit.
And then again with a 15 to hit.
And a 15 is also a hit. That's a DV13 from where you are. All right.
So the first one's 10 damage.
10 damage on the first one. Okay. Let me have a look here. So 10 damage minus...
And the second one's 11 damage.
So 10, 15, and the second one was how much? How much was the second damage?
11.
11.
11.
So they are now critically injured as well. So I'm going to need to. Let me have a quick look here how that actually works. I think I might have done it wrong before. Brawling, wound states. Oh, lightly wounded, seriously wounded, -2 to actions, and stabilization is DV 13. Mortally wounded is DV 14. Aha, alright, so she's not critically injured, but she is seriously wounded at this point, which means she takes a -2 to all actions. Okay, and her armor is ablated by 2 points. Okay, fantastic. Anything else that you wanted to do?
Yes. NSA. Where is it? Now listen. Put your gun down and we will kill you. And keep recording.
Okay, she takes 2 shots to the body. You see the blood splatter up against the wall beside her. She almost collapses down to her knees, but she sort of steadies herself on the concrete block next to her. And she looks towards you and she's like, "Oh, they'll be cleaning the floor with your innards by the time I'm done with you." And she doesn't look like she is in any mood to surrender at this point. Which does bring us...
That's bold.
That's balls, yeah. I mean, you don't get to be a piranha ganger for nothing. That brings us around to her turn, and she is going to take a shot at you, Mr. Foggy Storms, with her very heavy pistol. Let's go. Oh, attack. So that is a miss, thankfully, on that first attack, and she only has a rate of fire of 1. So she, sort of steadying herself up against that concrete pillar, with a shaky hand now covered in blood, she aims down the sights of her revolver, takes a shot, and you almost can feel the ricochet of the bullet as it just clatters into the concrete right behind you, and you can feel the concrete spray up against the back of your head.
Face down on that bullet. Don't even flinch.
Alright, roll a face down. No, don't worry about it.
16.
You fail, you now take a -2 to all of your checks.
No.
Okay, so that is the end of their turn. They might try and move, actually. See if they can get somewhere a little bit safer. They're sort of hemmed in here a little bit. She's going to move over to there, I'd say.
Did you say -2 to all abilities?
-2 to all of her abilities, yes.
And moves an ability?
No, that's a stat. Alright, so it is now Mr. Anderson Colby's turn. Mr. Anderson.
I'm going to turn around, push myself off the concrete block, move my way towards her, and punch her in her mouth. I'm brawling again.
Alright, I believe...
Here I go punching again.
I need to roll evasion. Let's have a quick look here. Brawling. Dex plus
I got a
brawling
16.
versus Dex... No, that's brawling. Damage is based on body, cyber arm, which is that damage. Brawling and martial arts damage. Okay. Well, I will roll her reflex, I suppose, evasion, and she rolls a 21.
Oh,
So
damn.
she dodges.
So you missed that one. I think you
I'll
can
go for the elbow.
Yeah, go for the elbow. All right. Bringing the elbow down.
That's a 12, but one of them's got an exclamation on it. So I think I'll say, okay, so it's got an exclamation and then a 2, so for a total of 12, which I think is like a crit fail.
Okay, so 12. I'm going to roll her dex, which is a 16. So both of those attacks miss.
Well, you're quicker than your friend.
She looks back towards you and she says, yeah, you got to find out exactly how quick I can be. And she starts to draw that revolver and point it towards you, but it is Foggy Storms. It's your turn. What do you want to do? She's point blank with this revolver to Anderson Colby.
Colby, watch out! And I'm gonna run up there. How does brawling work?
So you need to
two,
roll
three.
a check that is equal to it's a good question, actually.
I'd like to run this way, jump off the wall on the right, wall on the left, and then kick this chick in the head.
So it's your brawling skill plus your body. So you just need to roll brawling skill.
Brawling.
Yeah, mine's brawling plus with dex is what rolls for me.
Okay.
Can I just click brawling? I go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Do you
what I
get
do.
2 attacks with it, with brawling?
You do, yes.
Well, I'm going to go with an aimed attack trying to kick her in the head.
All right. So you're just running over and trying to kick her in the head. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll that attack.
That's a 22.
22 is successful.
Hell yeah. Go the crit. I rolled a 10 then an 8 on the crit. It's a -8, but I get plus 12, so it works out. So 22. So what happens with that?
How much damage?
Only 4, unfortunately. But do I get a special thing because I did a aimed shot?
You did an aim shot. Can you do an aim shot with brawling?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it says on the app you can.
okay, all right. Aimed shot with
Punch him in a
brawling,
specific place.
and you hit with a 22. What was her? Okay, so evasion 18. Okay, that is a hit, and you hit her where in the head?
In the head.
All right. So yeah, I believe. Let me just bring this up real quick. If you hit them in the head.
Multiply the damage that gets through your target's head armor by 2.
All right. Yeah. Okay, that's actually going to be multiply the damage that gets through your head armor. How much damage did you roll?
4.
4 points of damage. Her head armor is 4, so
So 0.
0 points of damage, I suppose. Yeah.
Oh well.
You do get another attack.
Yeah. Yeah, the eye zooms in on a weak spot on her neck and he's going to go for it again.
Then I kick her, sir.
So I want you to picture this. You've got a heavy pistol in one hand, you've got a video camera in the other hand, and you're running over there and trying to kick this lady in the
Well,
head.
actually, can I switch midway and do a shot with the gun?
No, unfortunately, if you commit to something, you have to use that.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were hinting you wanted me to shoot.
No.
Okay.
I was just picturing
Cool.
how funny this shot must be. Like you running over with a video camera with one hand.
So that's just a 10 to hit.
A 10 to hit. All right, I'm going to roll that evasion. That's a hit.
And that's 10 damage.
10 points of damage. I want you to describe to me how you knock this person out.
Yeah, so it goes up, does the little kick in the head and like knocks her helmet up a little bit. And when I land, I turn and I see a little jugular shot just in there. I get the pistol and just ram it under the helmet You see her eyes go dim as she drops down the wall.
And she drops down to the ground, clearly with blood loss. And as the last of these gang members collapses down to the ground, you take a moment to sort of catch your breath. And in the sudden quiet that you sort of find yourself in after the adrenaline-fueled last few moments, you hear a doorway open up somewhere to the east. You look back, and holding the door open to what appears to be like a fire exit stairwell, you see that security guard that we saw at the beginning of the episode. He has his hand hovering over a pistol on his belt, and you can hear the sound of a voice coming through a small two-way radio that's clipped onto his shoulder. And that's where we're going to take a quick break. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this short rest, and we'll get straight back into it. And we're back to all the Jennies and Forrest Gumps.
Right, let's go
out
live
there. We're
in 5,
back
4, 3, 2,
with
1, go.
more Cyberpunk Red actual play live stream. Neomagnetic. It's we just wrapped up your first combat mod, Aaron. How do you feel? How do you feel about that?
I feel like Mike Tyson.
I'm gonna actually go
Versus Jake
over.
Paul.
Wait, actually, stuff's happening, but very quickly before that door opens, can I just bring up the camera and just show some of the amazing shots? And we watch Colby just laying into this guy, breaking his jaw off in slow-mo, in perfect focus.
That is going straight on my Instagram.
Yes, I'll send it to you now.
Before we get back into it, I just want to say a couple of shout outs. Obviously, make sure you check out Valiant Odyssey wherever you get your podcasts from. And I also wanted to say a quick shout out to Fragmaps, who provide most of the maps that you're seeing in Neomagnetic. And I want to do a quick shout out to Dice Gremlins, Chaos Gremlins Dice, I think. Something like that, whatever it is. Make sure you check out their website as well. They do custom dice for all your tabletop RPG needs. So we just wrapped up the combat on level 28 of Megablock H10. You hear the sound of crackling coming from a handheld two-way radio. You look back towards where you guys came through, where the industrial elevator is, and in a doorway just next to it you see a security guard holding open what appears to be an emergency fire exit. He's got his hand hovering just over a pistol which is in a holster on his belt. He's wearing a grey security uniform, and you can see he's looking at you wide-eyed. I imagine this scene, there's like blood sprayed against the concrete of this mega building, sprayed all over Anderson Colby from where you headbutt that guy before you yeeted him off the edge 28 stories down to his death below. What do you do?
This is the moment. This is the moment. I look at Colby. Is there such thing as a help action?
Not really. Tell me what you want to do and we'll figure it out.
Well, I feel like this is a security guard. My guess is he doesn't like. We've done a lot of checks on history and that. Like, I'm guessing he's not a scorpion. But I'd very much like, with Colby's assistance being drenched in blood, and the fact that we killed the gang member and he probably found the one at the bottom, I would like to do a face down and say, yeah, listen, you don't want a piece of this. All we're doing is taking out the trash. And I'd like to do a face down roll.
All right. Let me have a quick look at the rules for face down here. Where is it? Ooh, I'd have to look that up. I had it written down, but unfortunately, because I moved to a new computer,
I just tried to look it up, but I accidentally rolled it.
All right. Let me have a look here. So
Keep it if it's good.
Should be in the stats here. What am I
Could have
rolling?
been better.
Maybe roll his face off.
I'm trying to find it here.
We're gonna have
on their
a Nicolas Cage, John Travolta moment.
Where does anyone
face
have the
down.
link
Here we
for
go.
the full rulebook? I know
All
we
right.
got sent it.
I've got it. What did you roll?
15, but I didn't mean to roll it. I was going to say, can I dump luck points into it?
Yes, you can. You can use a luck point if you wish.
I believe I will just -1 from there because I had 6.
Yes, so -1 luck points. So you now have 5
Can I
remaining
minus
luck
multiple?
points. I'm not actually sure if you can.
Well, I'll just do one then.
Yeah,
Take it up to
let's
16.
just do one. I'll double check to make sure to see if you can. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to. If you would, you know what? Yeah, you can. This is our game.
Hell yeah. I'm going to use 3.
You're gonna
So I'm
use-
take it up to 18.
3 on your luck roll. All
Getting
right.
lucky, baby.
So what do you say?
I say, yeah, listen, we're taking out the trash. You don't want a piece of this. And I hold up the girl's limp body and hold out the arm that's got the scorpion tattoo.
And I'll just spit out a piece of that guy's brain.
Fuck yes. That's what I mean, help action. Help action.
You see this guy. He's young, Caucasian.
Fresh out of the cat.
He's got like short, like almost shaved hair, square jawline, blue eyes, and you can see as
Sounds
you
like a bit of a
start to
dreamboat.
talk. Yeah, he's quite handsome. If that's your thing.
Sounds like Matt Rife.
You can
Yes,
see.
Matt Rife. Damn.
I don't know
my
who that
man.
is, but I'll take your word
Hey,
for it.
Valiant's
You
got some
see.
taste in comedy, baby.
You see like a bead of sweat form on his brow. It drops down. You can see his hands hovering over his pistol, shaken. But he reaches up and you hear a voice coming through the two-way radio that's clipped onto like by his shoulder. And you hear the words, Regis, do you copy? Come in. And he reaches up with like a shaky hand, grabs the radio.
Tell them you come in, Regis. Tell them you come in.
This is Regis, copy. And you hear the
Good.
voice and the radio reply. Was that the sound of gunfire I heard?
Close the distance at this point. And I'll like straighten his tie, dust his
Nice.
shoulders,
Nice.
and I'll just nod and I'll say, wasn't any gunfire up here, was there, Regis?
He
Tell him.
almost imperceptibly shakes his head. He presses the button on his two-way radio. He leans in and he's like, "No, just a couple
I'll
of
mouth the words.
just a
I'll
couple
mouth
of,
the words machinery breakdown.
just a couple of gonk kids playing with some machinery. Nothing to worry about. It's all clear. Over." And you hear a reply over the radio, and it's like, "Yeah, copy that." And then you see this security guard. He presses the button on his two-way radio again, and he's like, Yeah, no, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting that bonus this year. And there's a moment of silence before you hear a reply. Well, shit. And that's it. He looks back towards you and he steps sort of to the side and holds the door open. And he's like, motions with his head towards this fire exit.
Nothing untoward waiting for us at the bottom of this fire exit, is there, Regis? Didn't just tip somebody off with your mention of a bonus.
My partner's not going to be too happy that we're not going to be getting our bonus, as we like to call it. But we knew after they threw that kid off the balcony that their time was drawing closed.
Maybe you'll have to find somewhere else to get your bonus. This shop's closed for business. Let's go, Foggy.
Let's go. And we are watching the door, aren't we?
I'm gonna
or are
say
they're going to make their own way out?
they're gonna make their own way out, and the two of you make use of the fire exit, which leads you straight down to the bottom floor. And once you reach ground level, you see like this humming neon light. James, it's very nice drink. You see this humming neon light, like red neon light over what appears to be like a fire exit. It's got one of those heavy reinforced metal doors with like the bar that you can push, and you push through the door. You take a step outside into a back alley behind Megablock H10, and you make your way out, and as the door closes behind you, you can hear like a slow clap. You turn back, you see another one of the security guards, this time an older gentleman, must be in his 40s. He has a receding hairline, like dark brown skin, looks Indian in appearance, a little bit more heavy set than the last guy, and he looks back towards you and he's like, well, congratulations, you've really fucked me over.
Seems there's a lot of that going around.
Yeah. Maybe next time they shouldn't fuck that kid over.
Huh. You mean Jack?
Don't say his name like you give a fuck.
Can we like bluff that it was a different name and he got his name wrong and we're pissed off?
Yeah.
His name was Rory.
Go ahead and roll a check, whatever deception
I have no idea.
is.
It was
Robert Paulson.
Let's have a look at stats here. Cool. Would it be cool? No, it might be... Where is it? Under technique? No.
I could just roll face down again if you want.
Doesn't
what do we
seem
got?
right. I'm just going to go with...
Well,
Persuasion.
how about I go with when he says the name, can I do human perception to see if it seems like he's confident on the name?
Yeah, roll...
Because that would make more sense, because I'd only bluff if it seemed like he was guessing.
Roll that human in.
17.
17. I'm going to say you can tell that he is pretty confident with the name.
Fair enough. Fuck, I already forgot the kid's name.
Jack.
And yeah, he's
Yes.
like, yeah, young
Yes,
Jack.
Jack.
Hope you got what you came for. Hope you got paid well for this job too.
Who the fuck are you?
Hang on a sec. I think I just got a message from Redline. Oh, actually, no, I think only him and Aaron Colby. I think you've got a voice mod. A voice comms.
Let's say
Is that right?
you can receive a message through your agent if you wish to receive a message.
So yeah, we get a message from Redline saying that he's sending someone out that has 300 credits. They paid someone off, and we say, listen, we don't want this. We don't want you to go without the money. So they've sent down someone with 300 credits from the Scorpion crew to pay his one last time.
All right. Well, I don't know who the Scorpion crew is that you're talking about. You mean the Piranha Gangers? Set up shop
sorry.
on the level 28?
Those ones.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you, but that woman scares the shit out of me. I'm not going to be asking her for any money anytime soon. You know what that means? Now that you've chased those piranhas out of their little hidey hole on level 28 at Megablock H10, it means that I'm not going to be able to afford to feed my kids anymore. And you know what that means? I'm going to have to start doing 12-hour shifts again. So congratulations. I hope you got paid well for this job. You did fantastic. Oh, and Jack, the kid, the one that they threw over the balcony? Yeah, we knew about that. Jack, he was pretty infamous around here. He was a bit of a junkie himself. You see, the reason why they threw him off the balcony in the first place, he kept going back there after he was told not to. Time and time again, he kept going back
Now listen, I would love to stay in chat, and I feel bad for you, but if you're really worried about your family, we could keep talking, and maybe you could tell us what your life insurance policy's like.
Right, well, he reaches into his pocket, he pulls out a packet of cigarettes, slips one out of the packet, slides it up into his lips and lights it up, blows out some smoke, and he's like, well, don't let me keep you.
Alright, we leave. Well, I assume.
And
I'll move by this dude. I'll sort of nudge his shoulder as I go by, and he says, ain't nothing wrong with doing a 12-hour day to feed your family. Maybe you should focus on the good things that you can do instead of hanging around places like this for an easy cash grab.
Fuck yeah, I high-five him as we walk off.
And you step out, and as you do so, it begins to rain lightly. We cut back to that scene. We hear the rattling of this elevator as it descends from level 28 down to ground floor. We catch the end of the conversation between Violet Taylor, Typhoon Drift, and this gentleman known as Styx. And each of you finds that your bank account is 600 eddies heavier than it was before this operation began.
Adding that.
Is there anything that you do, Redline, as you leave the building?
That was good fun, that one, yes. Yeah, I hope the next one is just as fun. How did you two guys go?
I made jam.
Oh, very nice.
And another piranha safe houses. Well, it shut down. On to the next.
I have a feeling that will not be the last we see of them. Did you hear from Styx?
Yeah, I was going to say, can we get the message sent through to us?
Well, I imagine Violet Taylor at this point is probably still with you, Redline. I think it was her that received the phone call from Styx, and she just relays it to the rest of you that he appreciates that the job was done, that you did well. Apparently, according to his information, you managed to evict the piranha gangers with the least amount of collateral damage, and that you've all received your payment, and that you need to await to hear from him further.
600 eddies.
600 eddies.
Payday.
Oh,
What are you
yes.
going to use your money for?
Who do you direct that to?
Either of you.
Okay. I will use it with my family.
You have a family?
Well, yes and no. We nomads stick together.
I got a few nomads of my own.
Ah,
Where they
yeah.
got to. Anyway,
Some refugees from the Ukraine. You
Well-
know how it is.
if you need me, you got my number.
You need a ride?
You know what? That'd actually be really, really handy. Where are you
Sure.
going, Foggy?
Yeah, got to head home. The wife really wants me to focus on my career, but I'll be heading to my bunker, and I hand them both a card with an address to edit some of this. And I will say that in my time, I will be trying to get the security footage from the H10 tower, so I can get hold of the footage from Violet and that inside and dispose of it.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the first operation of Neomagnetic, the end of Operation Fish Tank. So the way this is
Operation
structured,
Fist Taint.
fist tanked. The way this is sort of written is the story will unfold over a series of operations, and in between those operations we have a little bit of downtime. So downtime is what you can use to, heal any wounds that you might have. You might seek out treatment for like physical wounds as well as mental wounds, and shopping and all that kind of stuff. So I want to go across the board here. I want to find out a little bit about what you guys want to do during your downtime, and if there's anything significant, if you want to buy any significant piece of equipment. Otherwise we can just sort of do that in the background. Is there anything that you guys want to do? So you probably have a period of about 5 days.
All I was going to do was, in the first episode, I said I could record with my eye, and I could zoom up to 400 magnification.
Yep.
Turns out that the record thing, you had to pay extra money, so I'm going to say that was just damaged, and I've got to replace. So that's a micro video, and yeah, it's 500.
It's 5.
Chips, but basically it's a new eye, socket out, socket in.
All
and
right.
we begin. I can win by no end, that's a sin.
So let's play this out. In order to get this new piece of cyberware equipment, you have to visit a Ripper Duck. Do you have someone that you normally go to, or are you going to...
Yeah, priest.
Priest? All
Priest.
right. Talk to me about Priest. Who is that?
Priest is someone that's fairly close to the end of their humanity. Lots of extra arms, extra rippers, extra parts everywhere. Spends most of his life hanging from the ceiling on tubes. And
Yeah.
has also been a contact I've used when trying to track down body parts through serial numbers.
Okay. So this guy, Priest.
He did my original eye as well, my original optics.
All right. So you sort of make your way down this winding labyrinth of back alleys, somewhere, I'm going to say near, maybe somewhere to the south of Night City, somewhere sort of near Pacifica. And at this point in time, Pacifica is sort of falling apart. It was meant to be like this tourist destination. Think like the boulevards in Los Angeles. There were hotels, there were multi-storied shopping centers, all sort of, the construction had begun. But after the attack on Arasaka Tower, a lot of these corporations pulled out of these building contracts, work stalled, and now Pacifica sort of exists as this half-finished shell of a promise to the people of Night City. It's rampant with crime. Gangs have taken over the most part of the city, but you've been here before. How did you learn about this? What's your history with priests?
Right, so priest was involved basically with me when I was a kid. I used to try and solve crimes. I was very big into journalism. I was always trying to do good for my neighborhood. Our priest has always been in this area. He's one of the originals of this area before they renovated it, before they tried to add everything in. And he basically took a shine to me before I had any modifications, and used to hook me up with stimulants that would help me stay on point for my case. So I'd be, as the name Death Wish would, as you might surmise, there was a lot of, so I could stay on point for days at a time chasing my leads. And that led through to a little bit of augmentation.
I'm just going to bring up healing as well. Should be.
See what I'm doing here? I'm weaving in that I can get drugs and other parts from him as well.
Yeah, I like what you're doing. It's fantastic.
Less NPCs for you, more stuff for me.
I'm just trying to find, because you took a little bit of damage as well, didn't you?
I did, so I'll need to get that stitched up.
Okay, I'm just having a look at how healing works here, getting it from someone else. Or healing, treating a critical injury trauma team. Here we go, going to the hospital. Highest DV of stabilization. It's only going to cost you 50 eddies, or 50 euro dollars for this. So I'm gonna kind of roll that into this treatment as well. So I'm assuming you have another 50 eddies for healing those wounds.
I do. Again, wounds. Let me just have a look. Is that 50 for a full heal from 0?
Yeah, only because...
Would I be able to negotiate with him that, like, hey, I'm like, yeah, priest, the microwave you sold me, it's on the fritz. It's not recording. I need a new one.
And to anyone who's like sort of watching this scene, it sort of looks like you're talking to yourself at first. You're standing in this almost empty room, almost completely barren of any sort of decorations. There's just this medical chair that sort of has this extension built on the top of it, which sort of comes out with all these screens and wires coming out of it. And at first it sort of looks like you're talking to yourself, and then you hear this mechanical whirring, and this guy sort of hanging from like an overhead gantry built into like a harness, and you wouldn't be able to see exactly how he's controlling this until you like sort of see it from behind. I imagine the camera pans around behind. There's sort of this low fog coming from cooling systems in this area. There's these computer screens on the wall, and next to that table is this stainless steel like trolley with all of these medical instruments on it and all this kind of stuff, and the camera sort of pans around this guy. He has like dark hair which sort of falls down all the way down his back, sort of tangling into this like wiring and conduit which is built into this harness. He sort of lowers himself down, and you realize that it's mostly controlled by his mind. He is almost completely paralyzed from the legs down. You can see his legs have atrophied to the point of not being like usable at all. And
the people around here, like the people that know him well, call him Priest, but behind his back, a lot of people call him Noodles because the way his legs dangle.
That's right, and he doesn't like that. He doesn't.
I would never say
one little bit. But you hear that those gears sort of kicking in, and this gantry crane sort of moves across the room on rails on either side of the room, and he comes right up close to you, and he pulls down like this sort of monocle device over his eye, and he looks like face to face with you right now, and he says, "Oh, Death Wish. You always are living up to your name, aren't you? I thought you left all this kind of thing behind you."
Yes, she wants me to, and I'm trying my very best. I always do my best to stay out of trouble, but something went wrong with the video feed. See, you put this in. Look, it's not recording. The light's not coming on. And as I'm doing this, I'll be like, yeah, so basically this happened, so I pulled out my backup camera, which caused me to get shot. So you need to fix this, and you need to fix this.
One thing at a time, mate. One thing at a time. I'm sure you've come with the right eddies needed to do this work.
Wait, hang on. Yeah, it's warranty. Surely warranty, it's only been a month.
What
Priest.
kind of operation you think I'm working here? I'm not working for any kind of corporation. You know what comes with installing this kind of cyberware. If I start offering warranty to people, I'll be having people come back in here every single week asking for refunds.
I'm just saying, it never worked. It's meant to work.
Well, I'll tell you what. Since we go back such a long, long time, I'll be willing to do a little discount for you. I've got another cyber optic I can give to you, but I'll throw in stitching up this wound for you. And before you know it, he lifts up like a long, thin finger and like jabs it into the bullet wound in your shoulder. He pulls his finger back out and he's like, "Does your wife know you're back in business?"
Well, she's probably guessed it. If not, listen, I might have to clean my clothes too. It's like where they shot me, it's like it gave me pneumonia.
Might have clipped the lungs there. Make yourself comfortable. Points towards the imagine like it's this large,
I know the drill.
Yeah, reclining
I walk
seat.
over, I jump into the chair, sit down, lock in. Also, I don't have enough money for pain.
No. You know how I work there, Foggy. No anesthetics around here. It's a test, you know, to pain.
I brought my own, and I'd take out my leather stick.
The pain is a test from the machine gods to show that you're worthy of carrying their blessing. He starts rifling through some medical equipment, and the last thing you see is this scalpel coming towards your eye. We black out from that scene, and we can hear like the squelching, that's exactly it, the drilling. And after a while, you come to, your wounds are healed, you have your new cybernetic implant, and with that comes the requisite loss in humanity. What is your humanity at?
It's gone all the way down to 59.
All the way down to 59. So you're still pretty good, still hanging on to your humanity there. And we sort of black out of that scene. I'm going to say, Aaron, is there anything that Colby Anderson wants to do in his downtime?
Yes, there is. So, back in my days before I was fired from the precinct, I took the fall for a narcotics rap, and I'm looking to clear my name. So, there's this guy called Mitzi Stover, who is a street level beat cop, who I think was the correct perpetrator. So I just want to tail him, follow him, and just get as much, like stalker-ish. Like I want to follow him and get as much info on this person as I can, because I feel like he's involved in something a little bit bigger, and he used me as a patsy to get away with something in the drug smuggling game. So I want to basically just follow him around for a very long time. And I've disguised myself as like a street bum. It's the clothes I usually wear anyway, and it's sort of adding to the fact that I'm desperate to clear myself so I can go back and work where I want to work, which is on the force. So my 3 robots, Happy, Sneezy and Dopey, or Happy, Grumpy and Dopey, are close by as well, and I'd probably spend some time fixing them as well. So those 2 things is what I would want to do.
Alright, so you spend a little bit of time outside the NCPD precinct, maybe somewhere closer to the center of the city. I'm going to say probably in Watson. Does that sound about right?
Yes. Let me get the map up. Sounds good though. Mm-hmm.
All right. So you spend a little bit of time outside that NCPD precinct, just outside of Watson. You spot this guy. What's his name? Mitzi?
Yeah, Mitzi.
How do you spell that?
Mitzi Stover. So he's just he was the same level I am, so like a beat cop.
Yeah.
In narcotics, but he's on the rise quickly, and I feel like there's some dirty blue in there.
Okay. Yeah, no, you spend quite some time just sort of hanging out around the outside of this NCPD precinct in Watson, and I'll get you to roll a check for me. I'll get you to roll the equivalent of a stealth check, whatever that may or may not be in this particular system. Let me bring that up. If I can
There is
find it.
stealth.
There is stealth, okay.
Yeah.
Thought that's what it was.
I got a 12.
You got a 12. Okay, I'm going to roll something on my own. I'm going to have to add a new character to this. Do 12. Okay, so you see this guy Mitzi sort of come out of the precinct. Do you have a land vehicle to sort of follow him in or anything like that?
I would say it's like a beaten up old Vespa scooter.
Okay, so You see Mitzi sort of leave the precinct. He is walking with what appears to be a new partner, who is like a very severe-looking younger woman, probably early 30s or something like that. Sort of olive skin, hair pulled back tight. She's got like those slightly tinted aviators. You can tell that she's probably pretty new to the force. Mitzi himself is an older guy, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I imagine him looking like. Do you know who Bill Burr is?
Yeah.
He looks like Bill Burr.
Rocking off all the comedians.
He looks exactly like Bill Burr, like sort of male pattern baldness, very very short, sort of ginger hair, bit of an unshaved beard. Quite clearly stark contrast to his partner. They exit the building. They jump into an NCPD cruiser and they pull out into the traffic. And they don't seem to notice you as far as you can tell. I'll get you to roll a handle vehicle check.
Okay.
Not because you're doing anything particularly difficult, like maneuvering wise, but more so because you're trying to keep your distance and trying not to be noticed.
Yep. So there is pilot air vehicle, pilot sea vehicle.
All right. So there should be.
Let me have a quick. Is it drive?
Yeah, drive sounds about right.
Yeah, drive land vehicle.
Drive land vehicle.
I got a 9.
Got a 9 on that check. Unfortunately, you managed to follow them quite some distance, but the vehicle pulls onto like a highway, onto an overpass, heading sort of out of Night City, and your little scooter can't keep up with the NCPD cruiser on its way out. I will tell you that you know that this isn't part of the Watson NCPD. What's the word here? Like their
route, their usual track. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
jurisdiction.
It's sort of out of NCPD jurisdiction, and the last thing that we see is sort of as the sun's going down, is those tail lights sort of drifting into the distance and being eclipsed by the setting crimson sun as the sun dips behind the horizon, and you sort of lose them on the overpass heading out towards the Badlands.
Okay. After a few, like a day or so, sorry.
Oh, you're right.
You can go.
Please continue.
I was going to say, after a day or so goes by, could I then move to like track down some form of hacker who would be able to find out his home address? So my next downtime will be scoping his house. If that's not possible, that's fine.
Yes, no, that is something that we can definitely do.
I'll just start looking through Craigslist for a fucking hacker that works for Eddie's.
Is this where I could say that my bunker isn't actually my bunker? It belongs to Blue Screen. Is that a way we could tie that in?
Yeah, so maybe I'll pull out the card and I see your name and I turn it over and it's. I sort of think maybe that's yeah. So I'll start heading to his bunker then on my little beep beep scooter, and running across the overpass behind me is my 3 dwarves of robotic nature, which is Dopey's leg just sort of snaps off and goes into the overpass.
Gets run over by
gets hit by a car.
Gets run over by a garbage truck.
Now he hops. Yeah, now he hops.
No, that's exactly what fucking happens.
So just for, I think Froth would know this, but Blue Screen, I believe, That's Ali's character?
Yes, that is correct. Blue screen was Ali's Netrunner character before
Yeah,
she had
so
to bow
I'm
out.
saying it's my bunker, but I actually just use her bunker because she has all the gear and I've got no idea.
She's got all the gear and you've got no idea. I dig it. All right, Froth. Downtime. What do you do?
Sure. Be heading back to the family hangout, which is a bunch of other nomads, where I've got my mother and an uncle and a few other notable characters. This is where I work on my car and do things like that. So Redline has like a wreck that he's been doing up for ages. Think of like Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious, but he's
Which one?
like
1, 2, 3, 10?
all of them.
Which
Doesn't
one?
matter.
Okay.
When he gets to when he's having that barbecue outside with the back of his family.
Yep.
You know, it's all about family. You know, whatever he says.
Hide the baby oil.
Yeah, but he's got like instead of the Dodge Charger in the garage, he's got like this old Russian type. It's like a Russian version of a Hummer, and it's like this full drive kind of thing. Still considered like a compact type car, but it's something he's been working on for a long time. He doesn't have a lot of tech skill, so he's kind of relying on his family for that. So he's going back to give them a bit of money to contribute to the family. But then he's going to be going out and trying to wheel and deal for some parts and bits and pieces he might need for continuing to build this vehicle. So he's got a vehicle of his own instead of borrowing everyone else's, because he feels that's like a bit of a rite of passage to be, you know, a senior nomad member. They sort of build their own car.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what he's working through. So there's a couple of people there with him. There's Chessa, who's the leader of the Drift Nomad clan. She's Redline's mother. And she's the sister of Jacob, so Uncle Jacob's there. Uncle Jacob. I don't know why I did Italian hands, but it just came through. Italian hands for Ukraine. That's really working well. Who else has he got there? And Andre is another guy who's just like the clan mechanic. So he's Andre, the clan mechanic's working on the car, doing most of the work and helping him out with it. And he's just sort of trying to increase his technical skills. But Andre's doing most of the work and he's just rolling with it.
So, you pull up to your place of residence. You know that your mother sort of she sort of sticks to the farms just outside of Night City itself. You moved into Night City with your uncle originally, and your uncle got into a little bit of trouble politically, and has ended up as pretty much a political prisoner inside of a maximum security prison. But you pull up to your apartment, and as you do so, like, it begins to rain lightly, and you can see like a lot of people at this point in the time of the Red live in these what they call con-apt apartments, which you can see there on the VTT. It's sort of just like a ramshackle pile of these containers sort of stacked on top of one another, and people sort of live in these one-bedroom apartments built into these towers. And as you pull up with your little hatchback sort of falling apart as it's pulling in, there's smoke pouring out the back. You can see your clan member Andre, the guy that we saw earlier who dropped the vehicle off to you. He's sort of sitting underneath like this this tarps, which is attached to the side of the Connaught apartment, sort of pulled taut over like a pair of like stacks of fucking Besser blocks. There's these plastic chairs and plastic tables sort of underneath the tarps. It's sort of raining lightly, but you can see as you pull up, your mother's there as well. She's an older woman, but still very very on it. She's wearing her like blue overalls, sort of dirt stains, boots, and she's sort of standing at a barbecue. And as you pull up, you see Andre he's got his legs kicked up on this plastic table, he's got a beer in his hand, and he's like, Redline! So you returned to us alive after all.
Yes, been out on and doing some errands, but I do have some eddies for your mistress. My mistress. Our mistress.
Is it kind of weird that you just called your mother your mistress, or?
Not talking about my mother. Where is she? Where is the car?
Safe.
How is it going? And you can't be doing too much work if you have your feet up on the table.
Safe and sound. I'm not going to do all the work for you, Redline, if that's what you like to call yourself on the streets of this bad city of Night City. Your mother doesn't like you working the streets like that.
Yes, but mothers also got to understand that the eddies must come from somewhere. They do not grow on trees.
She'd prefer you come back and work on the farms like the rest of us.
Yeah, farm schmarm.
He sort of kicks his feet off the table, knocking over a couple of empty bottles as he does so. And he's like, it's all safe and sound. He walks over to one of these Connaught or like containers, these massive containers, and he pulls down on a handle, and the door sort of groans in resistance as he opens it up. It's dark inside, but he flicks on a switch, and these lights flicker on. You can hear like the sound of electrical buzzing. One of the lights sort of breaks. You see these sparks come out, but you see in the darkness of this container, you can see your magnum opus, this four-wheel drive that you've been working on, this almost like a Hummer type vehicle. You can see that the engine has been taken out, and it's sort of hanging on one of those engine jacks. And he sort of Andre sort of walks you over there, and he's like, so what they got you working on these days?
Well, there's some local trouble. Some people up to no good. Some people wanted some help with that. So I helped them.
Help them do what exactly? Your mother worries about you. She doesn't want you ending up like your uncle.
There was some people selling some bad drugs and things and needed them to be cleaned out, so I was paired up with some capable people. Some mystery man by the name of Stigze. Do you know him? Have you heard of the name Stigze? He seems to be a fixer of some kind.
Sticks. I'm gonna roll a check here. I'm going to roll local expert. Sticks? No, never heard of anyone called Sticks before. Then again, I don't know how you stands this fucking city.
He seems very, how you say, discreet, perhaps. Stays in the shadows. Perhaps one time we shall meet him.
Well,
but I do have a fresh 600 eddies for the family and for the car.
600 eddies. I guess there's a reason why you stay in Night City. With the uncle around anymore, makes getting by a little bit more difficult. But you
Well,
know,
we've certainly tried politics, haven't we?
we have. Never again should any of us fall into that trap again. We know these Americans can't be trusted.
And we've been burnt on the farms before. It seems to be everything's corrupted. So we might as well be one of the corrupted and join them.
He pulls
Or beat them.
like a spanner from a locker, sort of like hung up on the wall, and he tosses it over to you. He's like, "No, if we're going to get this thing done, I need you to help me get this engine back in. There's been a problem with the Chu-2 converter."
Right. Well, do we need another one, or can we buy parts? I may have a day to go, and then I have, say, a couple more just to lend you a hand until maybe there's some more work for me.
Alright, so the way I think I'm going to translate this is, you're working on your vehicle, and I believe there are some options here for upgrading your vehicle. I'd have to have a look exactly how that works.
Yeah, that's cool. I did a bit of looking back at it.
Yep.
And there is a little side note on page 140 about vehicle repair. It says the DV and the amount of time it takes you to repair a damaged/destroyed vehicle with a tech skill to perfect condition is based on the amount of damage it has sustained. Now, I'm going to assume, in my head, what I'm picturing is that it was a total wreck, and we've sort of built the chassis and we've got the shell, and we're sort of putting some of the bits back together and finding bits and pieces. That's kind of what stage it's at. And then it says for minor damage, DV 9 and 3 hours, major damage, DV 13 in 1 day, or destroyed, DV 17 in 1 week. So I'd probably say destroyed, but I know we're not going to get it together in a week.
Okay, I'm going to say destroyed, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I'd say this would be something that I'd be working on throughout the campaign to have something nice in the end if it works out.
All right.
But if it doesn't go that way, then that's cool too, you know. So working on the vehicle, I've got tech skills, and if you're at like a base of 10, which I am, means you're not real good. But I'm hoping Andre's got some skills there that can help out. And I think if we've been working on it for a while and he's helping out as well, and we're doing these missions to get eddies and help the family, things like that, that'll sort of help through.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, I'll get you to roll that tech skill. I'm going to give you a bonus of +2 to it. We're going to see if you're going to be able to get it done in time for the next operation or not.
All right, that's cool. So I'm just going to find tech. You'd think it would be in alphabetical order. It is, actually. There you go. Air vehicle, no. Which is weird because I got skills in first aid, which I totally don't need. But land vehicle, here we go. A 10.
A 10. Okay. I'm going to say, so you got a +2 to that, so that's a 12.
Yeah, so 12.
I'm going to say it's not quite finished. It's not going to be finished for the next operation. It'll be running, but it'll be damaged. So
cool.
If it were to take any more damage, it could, possibly go back to being a complete write-off again. So if that's something that you want to do, I guess that's something you have to take into consideration. But as you guys are working, you sort of got your head in the engine bay, and Andre's sort of there, he's holding like a bracket for like a fuel pump in place while you're trying to line up some bolts. And he's like, he looks to you, he's wearing his signature flannel shirt and wife beater, and he's got his hair tied back, he's missing his 2 front teeth, his breath it's not great. And he's like, your mother, She worries about you, Redline.
Yes, Chessa, she's getting old. You know this. It's good she working the farms, but there's no money. Not much anyway. Enough to keep us here. With the roofs over our heads, but someone else was must going to have to make a stand. She's good lady. And, you know, lovely, beautiful, love her. She's my mother. But sooner or later, someone, one of us, will have to, you know, take the lead and make money for the family. And a little bit more, hopefully. And he's got a mental picture of Chessa in his head, sort of like grey hair tied in a bun. How she stands and carries herself is just really tall and straight and really under control of herself. Has really intelligent eyes, walks with a bit of a limp from a past accident. You know, got the overalls and the work boots and has this sort of like worn PDA device on her arm. And as he's reminiscing, he goes, you know, things would have been different if, you know, Uncle Jacob was successful with his Solvoil. So that would have been different. Those politicians cannot be trusted. And that's why we moved to the USA. Do you remember?
Yes.
He had the idea to keep the irradiated soil purification, and he had the patent for it, but then the politicians stole it. And now he's locked up somewhere and we don't know where.
I remember it as clearly as anyone else does, Redline, the morning that your uncle was taken by the Max Tech. Your mother spent the whole night in the shower by herself. I could hear her sobs all through the night. You know, we haven't heard from him since he went missing. Fuck. At least you got an opportunity to taste of a better life before he was taken. And he sort of throws the spanner that he was holding onto a workbench. It goes clattering into all these other tools, and he grabs like a TV remote, which is sort of buried in amongst the tools. There's like this tiny little LCD screen which is mounted into the corner of this workshop. And he's like, nothing ever fucking works here. And he's like pressing the buttons, trying to skip through different channels. It's like static, static, static. And then one channel comes through, and as it's coming through, you can hear like every now and then that buzz of static. And it's like a newscast. You can see there's like a woman sitting behind a desk, and there's something really strange about the way that she's sitting there. It's almost like she's AI generated or something like that. She sits there very stiffly, speaking into the camera, and it's like she's talking in this flat, almost monotonous tone. And she's like, "This just in. The streets have once again been turned into a bloodbath as a conflict between two rival gangs spilled out into an intersection in Vista del Rey in the early hours of the morning. MaxTac were quick to arrive on the scene and make short work of the remaining assailants. No information has yet been released as to the identity of the gang members, and NCPD are refusing to comment on the situation, simply reminding Night City citizens any illegal use of firearms in public spaces will bring down the full force of the law. None of Night City's gangs have claimed responsibility for the disturbance, but despite NCPD's assurance, Vista del Rey's residents are preparing for the retaliatory bloodshed that is sure to come." And you see Andre sort of lean back and shake his head, and we black out from that scene to the sound of you guys working on this automobile into the late hours of the night, and we can hear the sound of the rain clattering on the container, and that sound sort of continues as we and it sort of morphs from that into the sounds of Foggy, your agent ringing.
Oh, what was the song again? I answer my agent.
You answer your agent,
You got Foggy.
and you hear a voice. It's gruff, almost British sounding on the other side, and it's like, well, I told you you'd get more paid work, and I guess the time's come. You did good work at Megablock H10, and I've got something else for you.
Yeah, alright. Where you want to meet?
Alright. Listen up and listen good, because I'm only going to tell you this one time. I need you to meet me at a nightclub called Neo Terminus. You'll find it in a stack of cargo containers in New Westbrook. I need you to bring your teammates with you. You can handle that, right? Death Wish?
Yes. Yeah, we'll be there. You want it now?
Meet me at Neo Terminus first thing tomorrow morning. Early hours, just before the sun comes up.
Yeah, no problem. This is no problem. I make this happen. Just a quick question.
Right. Shoot.
Actually, no, we're going to meet him, so he doesn't need to know where everyone is. That's all good. Yeah, we'll be there. No problem. This is no problem.
Now,
Hang on.
and you hang up?
I'm going to jump on my agent and send a message to everyone to meet up at the bunker ASAP. And there's just a message that says job's on. I believe Colby might have already made his way there.
I get the message as I'm standing at the door and I knock as the beep happens. I kick my scooter's side stand up and sort of try to lean it over as well. Yeah.
Thanks to a blue screen, the door goes translucent and we can see you like an x-ray through. And then you hear a beep and the door opens up. Yeah. Listen. Points for promptness.
Yeah, you said job's on, but I was actually here because this card, this bunker, you got some tech in here, right? You know how to use it?
Yeah, totally. And I like point. You can see there's like cables everywhere. I'm not going to do blue screen's introduction, but she's sliding around to go to different computer terminals, like doing stuff, jacking in and everything. And I point over the far corner, and you see like an old like 486 style computer there with like a 3 monitor. Basically, my setup now, like a very basic computer setup for editing. And I'm just like, yes, we've got some tech over there. What sort of are you looking for video editing? Because I did, and I started talking about the video clip.
Well, I'm glad that that's making the rounds, but honestly, it looks like I need her help a little bit more than yours. Is she an acquaintance of yours?
Blue screen. Yeah, she's the best net runner you'll ever meet. But she's kind of jacked in at the moment. And you can like see screens flittering everywhere. And you see like a map extend out, zoom in. Listen, if you have a name or someone you need tracked down, usually I just write it on this pad over here. There's a little terminal you can write in. And just put your contact details. And she should look into it while we're on the job. But yeah, apparently our good friend Stykes is wanting us to show up.
They pay as well as they did last time, then I'm in. But also, I think it might be good to converge our forces once again. You don't mind if my individuals keep her company?
I think it's probably best.
You can see these three just poke their heads like Scooby-Doo style, one on top of the other.
Did you? Do they need charging or anything?
No, I fixed them up before they got her. Best I could, anyway. But one of them's slower than the rest now, and you watch as Dopey hops in. He goes and he just sort of sits down. You can see them just in awe of the space. But I walk in as well at this point, and I say, "What stakes one now? More drug runners, piranhas."
I'm gonna look around the screens, and on one of the screens you will see a whole heap of news reports flashing up of different combats and things that have happened, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't. Obviously, we're going to go to his club and talk to him. It's no problem. We just have to be there in the morning. But listen, shit. If I had to take a guess, and I point up to the board where you just see like multiple fatalities, Max Pack called in. Like these are like the hardcore stormtroopers that deal with people with cybernetics and that. And it's just like, I'd have to guess it's in our area. It's probably going to involve this absolute shit bag. So if you need any ammunition, I'm gonna make a run while we wait for the others.
Why don't we wait for Redline? He can take us in his car.
It's a good idea. He's
Get there
a
quicker.
good man.
As you say that, you can hear like the screeching of a fan belt. A big backfire, and,
I'll like cover my ears.
and then like crunching of gears.
Oh my
And you
god.
hear like,
You okay, Mod?
You son of a bitch.
and
Son of a bitch trying to fucking assassinate me. Oh, fuck. I
Sorry,
can hear. Dude, I grew up with my van Holden at 650,000 Ks. Like the fan belt noise. Fuck.
Yeah, you can hear that fan belt. You can hear that backfire. You can hear this like Eastern European rap like coming out from this wreck of a vehicle that pulls up. You guys.
While it's running.
Yeah.
While it's running, can I move over and just like I'll do that noise as it's like really loud to you inside the driver's seat, Redline. I'll just be like this, and I'll be like, pop the hood.
yeah, sure. Good to
I'll,
see
like,
you again, my friend. And
open it, put the little holder up, and I'll just like wash all the smoke away, and I'll pull out like a toolkit, and I'll tell him to kill it. I'll be like, kill it,
yeah,
and then I'll attempt to tighten the fan belt.
nice.
All right.
Beautiful, isn't she? This is a good car. This one.
She will be in a second. Just give me 1 minute. Do I roll for that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
roll that tech skill.
Okay.
Love this.
Land vehicle.
Just don't
Land vehicle.
critically fail.
Ooh.
Yeah, that could be bad.
Or you'll be catching
Okay, so
the train.
I got a 24, but I got the star again, so it's crit.
All right.
So
Nice.
24.
Pretty good. You notice that Mr. Colby has some tech skills. You managed to tighten that fan belt up a little bit. You can tell that, you're probably going to need some new parts here if you want to fix it up completely. You can tell that the fan belt itself is completely it's shiny.
I'll relay that to him. I'll say, you're going to need a new one of these. I can see my face in it. It's that shiny. But
Okay.
I've fixed it for now. It should work for the next, 100 miles, maybe.
I think she'll be okay. I'm working on another project with my friend Andre. You and he may get along quite well if you're good with tools like he is.
If there's a hot meal involved, then you can count me in.
Perhaps a hot meal, a bottle of vodka, some cigars, if we're lucky.
And you get something a little bit special as well, Redline, that most other people probably don't get in their diets. Because of your connection with these Eastern European migrant farmers, you actually get to enjoy the occasional fresh
Cocaine.
vegetable. You get to enjoy cocaine every now and then. No, we all know that. That doesn't make him special in this universe.
Vegetables and cocaine. How could I make this any sweeter for you?
Look, that sounds like a deal, Redline. We're about to go on an ammo run. Care to join us? There's another mission from Stikes.
Oh, Sticks! Fantastic. Let's go.
And yeah, I look at my agent, and I've got I've already sent a message off to Violet, basically saying what pizza do you want, but regarding ammunition and stuff. And she's already sent me whatever she wanted.
It's ice cream. That's what it's called.
Ice cream pizza.
And
lava cakes.
We quickly cut to a scene. We see Violet's like agent like ringing, like it's like the screen like lighting up with maybe your alias on it, Death Wish, like it's popping up. You can see that it's ringing, but we can't even hear it because we just hear this like bassy synth metal just like fucking rocking in the background, this flashing blue light, and the camera sort of pans up and we see Violent Taylor like up on stage like rapping in front of all these people with like this kaleidoscope of different clothes, like tattered jeans, see-through jackets. We see these tattoos that light up with the black light that's like pulsing. And you don't really get an answer at this point, but you've sent the message at least. And we cut away from that scene, from that pulsing light as it like flashes blue, green, and then red, and then when it fades out of red, it comes back up red again. But instead of the red of that flashing like nightclub light, we see the red of the sun as it just starts to poke over the horizon, and this vehicle as it pulls up to like this stack of containers, very similar a bit to Froth, your Connaught department sort of stack that you sort of live in. This is built into what's the area called again? Just to refer to my notes.
The north something.
Yeah, it's built into in New Westbrook, which is just not. It's outside the city centre, and it's sort of in an area where a lot of displaced citizens were moved to after the destruction of Arasaka Tower and the resulting fallout of that. So a lot of people here live very similarly to what you do, Froth, in these sort of makeshift buildings that have popped up like refugee camps for all intents and purposes. And you gather out the front of this building, you step out of this vehicle in front of these like interconnected shipping containers, and you can hear that even in the early hours of the morning there's this like bassy synth that's booming from somewhere inside. You walk up and over the top of the door to this this container warehouse, essentially, you see these this red neon light, the words Neo Terminus, and the S is sort of like flickering, and there's like sparks that sort of drop out from like the light every now and then. You open the door to this like makeshift nightclub, and this ankle-high fog rolls out. You enter into a corridor that's dotted with a kaleidoscope of colourful neon tubes that, you know, it's like almost confounding your senses as you walk down this corridor. And even now, it must be like 5 o'clock in the morning. You pass this couple that are sort of pressed up against the wall of this narrow corridor, and
Fucking.
well, I wouldn't say fucking, but they're definitely in a moment of passion. We'll put it that way. And they either don't fucking notice you, or they don't care to. When you
This
reach
dude
the end of the
doesn't stop.
corridor, you pass through this heavy sheet of frosted plastic and into like this densely packed dive bar. You start to realize that like this must be the place where all of these like displaced people go to sort of drown their sorrows. And even now at like 5 o'clock in the morning, the party is still pumping. There's loud synth music blasting through analog speakers that look old enough to almost be antiques. But they still have more than enough power to be able to feed the appetites of a local crowd that are huddled together on the dance floor in like a sea of undulating flesh draped in the latest street fashions. You push through this crowd of torn jeans, prismatic tattoos, translucent tops, and body augmentations towards what appears to be a single narrow glass bar attended by a handsome thin young man who's wearing like a tight-fitting black vest over a white blouse. His sleeves are rolled back, and they're sort of exposing these augmented like light tattoos that seem to be pulsing to the rhythm of the blasting music as you step into this nightclub. He turns from where he's like talking to like a pair of young ladies that are like ordering these bright green drinks that sort of light up in the pulsing lights from the dance floor. And we'll see you next fortnight.
Hell yeah.